Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a real quick shop tour. Alright, here's the table. The centerpiece, my most important part. Bench vise. I guess I'll go up here first, work my way down. I have a IG unit Star Wars figure on top of an old antique saw, as well as another one. I just hang them up decoratively. I never use them. The teeth are really dull and it's a pain in the butt to do that. And then I have this little shelf, really crappy little shelf, with some finishes, some wax. That's where I keep my linseed oil. The next one is wood filler, wood glue, another type of wood glue, some epoxy, some E6000 glue, which is pretty good, and then various pliers, vice clamps, that kind of stuff, little wrench, one thing. And then the next one, WD-40, my files that I have just kind of hanging here, center punch, and then down here is this. I just keep miscellaneous stuff, some miscellaneous drill bits, some random stuff. This is Dremel tools, more Dremel tools, some little spring project stuff. This is for my wood burner, some random stuff for that. Some random nails. This is leather from a leather stack knife. I just thought maybe I'd use it for a project someday, so I kept it. And then down here are a whole bunch of spade drill bits that I took out of their package and couldn't get it back in. And then the rest of the drawers are pretty random. This one's all just for marking stuff. I have an eraser. This is a little marking knife. I was actually going to make a video on that, but it turned out pretty poorly in my opinion. But just a little marking knife for more accurate in a lot of ways than Sharpies and stuff. But I blew through the side, so I didn't make a video about it. But anyway, keep some stuff in there. Next, I have this wooden mallet that I made out of hickory handle with, I think this was a pear wood. This is a Bradford pear, which is a terrible wood. I'm not entirely sure why I used it, but it's okay, because I don't feel bad about beating it up. Speed square on the opposite side here. I keep this little, it's been a great little saw. It's this little Craftsman. I picked it up at one of the box stores for like $10. Boy, does that thing chew through some wood. And then this little Cobalt wood saw. It used to have one of those little pull cut, those real fine pull cut saws, but it broke. So now it's just got this little wood. I almost never use it anymore. It normally hangs up from there, but it just fell. Then I have this old, bought this at like a resale store, I think, and just have a newer blade on it, an old hacksaw. I normally run it back there just for space. And then I always have a tape measure sitting around. This is normally where I throw like little scrap wood chunks that I'm not totally sure if I want to throw away or not. And I just brush these little scraps over here. And I use this to clean out files and stuff like that, a little metal bristled brush. And a hammer. Let's see what else I got over here. This side I typically keep a little bit cleaner. I have some knives here right now, but I have my little breathing mask, some gloves, I have some other masks, old belts and stuff like that that are still have some life in them. Those are for my belt grinder over there, but I'll get to that. Speed square, an old coffee cup for unknown reasons, some screws, some washers. This is also where I keep my sharpening stuff, so I keep my whetstone elsewhere to keep it protected from the dust, but I keep a diamond sharpener. This is a little leather strop I made. I need to clean it all out. It's really dirty and bogged down now, but it's just a smooth and rough side of leather glued to a block of wood. I have a Lansky sharpening system in here that I like to use. I use it on some of my knives, like if I do a kitchen knife, I like to do stuff like that, and then just some miscellaneous stuff is also over here, but that's for oftentimes sharpening stuff, and then hammer, speed square, I just tuck it away over there. Then I guess let's go to the underside of the bench. Let's see if I can get some light down here. The underside I keep my wood files, some of those old ones. Some of them are also, I keep knife steels down there. These are old files, so I can use them if I so choose for knife making projects. Some of them are pretty wide though, so I've kind of been just using these more so. I stuck a little handle on this guy here. This is my main one I normally use. It's nice and sharp. Again, it's very wide, so it's not that great to use for knives. And then, you know, a little four-in hand rasp and stuff like that. And then down here, this is where currently I have some spikes, some stuff like that I'm considering as knife projects. A little piece of rebar, some stuff like that. This old thing, I spark tested it here, and it's no good. So it would make a knife, but it might be useful for something else blacksmithy. This is some old 1080 steel that I have sitting around that's just not really big enough to make a knife or anything. But that's where I keep my knife steels, I keep anything like that. And then over here to the side, I keep some C-clamps. I like to keep some of these around. These are handy little clamps. Those are good for pretty much anything you can think of. And then over here, keep my sandpaper. This is a little bag that's I just replaced. It's for trash. Over here, I have just scrap wood, whether it's, you know, big chunks of some old deck. I have some of these that are from an old tree that we cut down that are drying out. Just a bunch of stuff. I have crap wood. I have, you know, some nice wood, but I'm getting limited on that. I need to get some more good hardwood, down to just a little bit of this nice walnut and stuff like that. So that's my wood stash. I don't really do very much out of the wood stuff anymore. And then here are my very limited tools. I have this old Panasonic 15-volt drill that I'm sure runs on like 5 volts now because it's super old. This old palm sander. Well, Dremel. I still use that Dremel pretty often, but it's more often than not dead these days. Here is my sander, my belt sander. I use this as a belt sander. I know it's well outside of its intended purpose, but I'll clamp it. This handle is adjustable. I'll flip this bad boy upside down and I'll clamp it in the vise, and I'll use it almost kind of, you know, like a little, like you would maybe a 1x30 style grinder. And then I've got, you know, a couple things of drill bits, some stuff like that, some X-Acto knives, a jigsaw, circular saw, that kind of stuff. This is the powerhouse though for knife making and stuff. Boy, this thing is a champ. I need a new cutoff disc in there, but this thing, boy, flap discs and grinding discs and all that stuff, it works like a champ. And yeah, that's literally it. That's what I make. All of my knives, all of my axe projects, my woodworking projects come from this little thing. So, you know, in the future, it always gets a little bit bigger anytime I see a tool or something like that that I might want to add to the collection. That's about it. This is one of those things I started wood burning on. It's very, very gay, but I made some RuneScape stuff because I used to be a big fan of RuneScape, still am. Great game. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Little shop tour for the 2 people that'll ever see this. Y'all have a good one. God bless.